Welcome to Barre Chat, that's where it's at.
I'm Lexi.
I'm Bianca.
And I'm Becca. And we're chatting all things dance.
Guys, that was the last time we're doing that for this season. That's crazy.
Maybe next time we can like one up ourselves and like make a song.
We'll sing our own theme song. Welcome to Barre Chat, that's where it's at.
Maybe not.
Oh, that was good.
Like
we'll talk to
Nico. Can you edit that into a song, please? Oh, maybe we'll have our own album on Spotify too. And it could go right next to the podcast.
That's for season 3.
That's for season 3.
Interesting.
Maybe SoundCloud?
Oh yeah.
We'll see.
No. I have to have a rap in it if we're doing a song.
Welcome to Barre Chat, that's where it's at.
Wiki.
Boots and cats. Anyways, back to the episode.
Bianca's posing like always.
All right, Becca.
Not listening.
Becca, what's this episode about? Please tell me.
Oh my god. Usually it's Lexi saying the episode, so it's like kind of throwing me off a little bit.
So sorry.
That we're like, yeah, but like we don't stick to the same path every time. We love to change things up. So thank you so much for asking, Lexi.
Anytime.
So this episode, we're actually going to be doing a somewhat idea of a letter to our younger selves, or what we would like to tell our younger selves, which in this case is you guys. So
You are
this
us.
kind of advice that, yeah, you are us as a young one. No, but it's so true. Sometimes I'll be like teaching a class or observing a dance class in any sort of way, and I'll see like certain dancers and like, I don't know, I feel like I could psychoanalyze younger dancers so well because I remember what I felt when I was their age and what was going through my head. And so like sometimes like I just want to like go up to them and be like, don't like stop doing this. Like I see what you're doing. And like,
Yeah.
I like went through the same thing. And so this is that moment where it's like sometimes I just want to shake my younger self and be like, no, you know. So
what would you say is something that like you really just like overthought all the time as a younger dancer, and you like it doesn't matter now? You know what I'm trying to say?
yeah, so when we first thought of doing this idea of talking to our younger selves, I think obviously
my
I'm
idea.
gonna no one cares, so
I just had to put
I'm
it
just
out
kidding.
there. Always mean to me.
Yeah, I obviously have been going through a change. As I said in the last episode, I was and doing a new dance program where I'm doing styles that I normally wouldn't or haven't really trained in. And I think the first thing that I want to say that I would tell my younger self is, and I know Bianca talks about this a lot because it happens to her, but I feel like I put myself in this box of I am a ballerina or I'm a contemporary dancer, and I never let myself or gave myself the space to like see what it's like for me to do something like jazz or hip hop. And I think finally, like, it's crazy how literally I held myself back from my full potential because either I told myself, people in my life, people I looked up to told me that I wasn't ever going to be a hip hopper or wasn't ever going to be able to do jazz funk or jazz or certain styles. And now that I'm like training more and more into it, I finally like I went to this program so open-minded, and I really went like, okay, no one knows me here. No one knows what my style is. No one knows what I'm good at. So now's my chance to kind of start over and be like, well, I am a hip hopper now. So like I kind of walked in with that mindset.
What do you
being
mean
like,
now?
No,
You always were. It's just the mindset
Exactly.
changing.
No, actually though, like I had it in me, and now like I'm not saying I'm like a hip hop god, but I definitely like in a hip hop god. But I definitely think that I've improved in this little time so much at hip hop because I am like letting myself.
That's amazing.
Finally.
Yeah, I think that for me, rather than myself holding me back, it was my teachers holding me back or my peers holding me back. And when I was in college, that was the thing that kind of boxed me in. I've always known that I can do all styles, and for whatever reason, you know, the other people didn't want to hear me out on that, and they didn't want to like let me show them. So that was the struggle for me. But I think what you said about like having a new space and a new opportunity to show that you can do those things is very true. And like, that's a great way to look at it, is like a fresh start, a clean slate. I can do whatever I want. If I want to be seen as a versatile dancer, it's time to show them now while it's fresh.
You know what though? Like, it's hard to change your mindset when you were in the same place for 18 years. And I'm not blaming like the place. It's more just like, what it's like, how could you change your mindset when you're not changing your environment? You're not changing like your routine, your schedule. So I feel like college is such a great opportunity to help you change your mindset, because you have to start over. Like, you're getting new teachers, you're getting new material, like you're fully starting everything over. So that is the best time to be like, you know what, may as well change how I think about it, change how I view it, because it's the easiest way. Like, I could not change my mindset when I was dancing at my studio. Like, whatever I thought of myself is just what I thought of myself. How am I supposed to change it when I'm just every year going back to the same exact room to do lyrical and hip hop and it's hard to like change it in my head.
People are just obsessed with labels and labeling things. Yeah. And like, at least for me at my studio growing up, I was labeled the ballerina, the girl that did a lot of ballet. So obviously I'm going to start fulfilling that role because that's what people are telling me. Right. And obviously I'm not blaming anyone for this, but it's interesting how this is like all three of us had such different dance backgrounds, but we all experienced the same thing of like being put in a box. And it's so hard to convince yourself out of that box, let alone like convince other people.
Yeah. I think there is a little bit of blame though in this situation when it comes to other people. And I really do think that it's valid to say, like, if your teacher only sees you as one thing, which is not how a teacher should view a student, because the teacher would want the student to like expand as much as they can and grow in as many areas as they can. If a teacher is the one that's holding you back, yeah, you're to blame. Like, sorry. Yeah. Like, that's not my fault, because I know that I can do ballet, jazz, tap, hip hop, etc. But if there's a person that's holding me back, I will put the blame on you. Sorry.
But after years and years of being told something, obviously you're going to fulfill that prophecy.
Absolutely. And it's hard as the dancer to change your mindset when like someone is literally like telling you this is what you are, this is where you're at, because how am I supposed to believe otherwise when this is what I'm getting told? Like, especially growing up, like I feel like it's so hard to have an opinion of yourself when other people have a different opinion of you. Because, like, why would you disagree? Like, if that's what people are seeing, that's what you are, you know? And I feel like something that I wish I knew growing up, or I wish that I didn't care about as much, was where I got placed in dances. Like, if I was put in the front line versus the back line, like, genuinely, I would be devastated if I was put in the back line, because I was like, they think that I'm terrible. But that's not the case, because I'm still doing the same choreography as them. You can still see me from the stage, like whether I'm in the front line or the back line. And also, there's just somebody better at that choreography than me, and that's why they're in the front. It's not because I'm bad, it's just because somebody's better. But then I get put in the front for another section.
At that, you said something very important that I would like to point out. At that choreography, those 8 counts that you're in the back for does not define you as a whole of a dancer.
And I feel like now that I'm in college and I'm like dancing with my dance company, I literally don't care where I'm put. Like, I could be in the front center the whole time, I could be in the back corner the whole time. I don't really care, because I know that I feel good doing the choreography, and I feel like I look good doing the choreography, and at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Like, if the choreography is sitting on me and I feel comfortable performing it, that's what matters.
I think the problem with the whole placement with where you are in the dance comes from a young age where people place the people in the front on a pedestal as if they're the best at it or if they're favored. And that's not always the case. I was put in the back a lot too, and I'm a taller dancer, and I would never be put in the front because I would be blocking everybody.
That's another thing. Height really determines your spots.
And I'm not saying that that's the cut and dry for me either, but I'm just trying to let you guys know that just because you're placed in a certain spot in the dance does not define how good you are or your worth in the dance. It's not about that all the time. It could be about your height. It could just be about the overall visual. Like there's a lot of different aspects and elements that go into choosing spacing.
It could be because the people in the front are doing an aerial and you can't do an aerial. It's not about your dancing.
That was always me. I always like had some like acro trick that got me in the front.
See, and I didn't get put in the front because I am not a leg person. So that, and it's not that I'm a bad dancer. It's that I'm just not as flexible. My legs just don't do that. So they knew to not keep me, like they didn't want to put me in choreography with legs because that would make me look bad.
Yeah.
And they don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And I respect
Something else that I wish I could have told myself when I was younger as a dancer is that I shouldn't really need to care about what other people think about me. Specifically like the peers around me and the teacher. But I think that what held me back a lot was that, and this is kind of like a two different points
Becca.
of a conversation.
Bless you, Becca.
But
thank you.
when I was younger, I always was worried about like, oh, are my classmates judging me? Are they looking at me and thinking like, oh, she thinks she's better than everybody? Or, oh, she's not very good. Like all of these thoughts would just trickle down, and it kind of made me hold back in my dancing because I didn't want to be seen as the dancer who was conceited or, you know, arrogant, because I was also labeled as a ballerina. And that's the stereotype, is that they're very like proper, you know?
Yes.
And just a certain, they have a certain air about them, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And I never wanted to be seen as that. And so that's something that I struggled with, was like, I don't want to do too good. I don't want to do the dance too good because then people will see me as that.
Yeah.
And I held myself back in that. I think you should always do your best. Always be the best you can in any way. Don't worry about what other people think of you. Like, they're thinking about themselves at the end of the day. We're all thinking about ourselves. We're not worried about the person next to us.
Absolutely.
That's in your head.
To be honest, they probably are thinking those things about you. Like, no, but it doesn't matter. True.
It does not
as dancers matter. Like, dancers can be mean, and like sometimes, yeah, of course you can run into dancers that are nice and like the greatest thing ever.
Like us.
But sometimes, yeah, like us, like I would never. But some dancers can be mean, and like if they are thinking that about you, that says way more about them and the way they think about themselves than they think about you. No one, I think I said this in the confidence episode, but I can't really remember, but no one that is doing less than you is worried about you. I mean, no, wait. No one that is doing more than you is worried about you. It's always the people that are the most confident, like that are the people that are jealous of.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Does that make sense?
No, absolutely. I had, like, this was like 10 years ago, a guest teacher come in, and he said something that has stuck with me since then. It was like, if you are doing the choreography too over the top or too much and a teacher tells you to dial it back, that is a compliment. That is a compliment, because you are doing more than they're asking. And I don't know why, but that has stuck with me for so long. So like you saying that you were holding back from doing too much, do too much. Be that dancer. And then if it is too much, your teacher will tell you. And that is a compliment, because you are not restricted to the level that they're asking for. You can do beyond that. And I feel like that's a compliment in itself. So if someone is going to judge you for doing more than you're being asked, then that shows a lot about them, you know?
Yeah. That's kind of a point that's brought up a lot in dance classes, is like, if you don't go there, you're never going to know where you can go, quite literally.
Exactly.
So if you hold back and you only stick to a double pirouette every ballet class, you're not going to improve. Go for the triple, go for the quadruple, fall out of it, land on your wherever you land, and then get up and do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's how you progress. That's how you get better.
Yeah.
Don't hold yourself back. That's like the main point I think this little topic is about. It's like, don't hold yourself back.
Yeah. You know what I wish I didn't hold myself back about was
What?
my left side. I feel like I did not push myself enough on the left side, and I wish that I did when I was younger.
That's how I feel about my right side.
Yeah, like it is so known. Like I feel like it's just a thing. Like, oh, what's your good side? You're right. And usually it's the right side, but like some people it's the left side. But regardless, like if your good side is the right side, more often than not, most turns are done on the right. Most kicks, most leaps are done on the right. So I did not push my left side to the potential when I was younger and my body was still like growing and my bones were forming, you know, like I wish that I pushed myself more. So if I can go back in time and tell myself to change something, I would be like, get in your left split right now. Do
Becca,
that left
aren't we
turn.
both lefties?
Yeah, so I was gonna say I sadly
Disagree.
can't relate to that.
Yeah,
well,
I
yeah,
know.
no, I
almost
fully
feel the
cannot.
opposite.
Yeah,
The opposite?
I can't relate to that at all because I know a lot of teachers, at least the teacher that I had growing up, always said that lefties were always like the most versatile and ambidextrous dancers
I
because
agree.
you're being forced. Like I can honestly say that I can do my right side almost as good as I can do my left side. I've done fouettes on point in a dance on my bad side.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I had
You
to.
have to.
See,
But,
I wish I was
I
a
mean,
lefty.
that's
because right
also
is
not-
trained.
Yeah, no, it's true though, and it's always such a flex when you're like lefty and like you're doing left across the floor and everyone's falling out.
It's like if
but I
anyone
will
wants
say
to do a
that
left turn, come to the center, please. You guys can do your left. I'll stick
no, literally.
Whenever
But-
I'm teaching a dance class and we're doing pirouettes across the floor, I make it a point to ask people, who's a lefty? Who's a lefty in here? And either nobody will raise their hand or one person will. And then I'll be like, okay, same. I'm a lefty. We're clearly outnumbered here. But that's funny because it goes back to like righties have an advantage in the dance world.
Mm-hmm.
I think right-handed people have an
Not me,
advantage in the
but-
world, period. I'm left-handed when I write and the ink smudges on my hands and I have a whole thing.
Oh, I'm not left-handed though.
I am.
I'm right-handed.
Yeah.
Driving must
It
be so
trickles down.
painful. Because it's literally on the right side for your hand and your foot for driving.
Yep.
Wow. That's
The world was built for right-handed people, but the lefties do not let it stop them. And I think what Becca was saying is true for me as well, in the fact that I didn't let that hold me back. And if anything, I had to work harder to get my right up to where my left is. So I'm more equal. I'm more like leveled and balanced with those. My left is still my dominant side, but at the end of the day, I can still hold my own on the right because
Yeah.
that's what was drilled into me my entire youth. in the
Wow.
dance.
I would
Bianca,
also-
That's so amazing. Good for you.
I would also like to say
Yeah. Yeah.
I would also like to say are you guys done?
Is
You may
Lexi done?
proceed. Lexi's done.
I would also like to say that a few minutes ago I said I was ambidextrous, which means you're good at both and bad side, but I'm ambidextrous, and that means that I am bad at both sides because I'm equally as bad at, on my right as I'm bad at my left because
Amazing.
I'm terrible at turns and all of that.
Me too.
Yeah, it's actually like quite embarrassing how bad I am at turning.
Same.
I'd be embarrassed if I were you guys.
Yeah, I am severely embarrassed.
I think
like
No, I would
lefties.
be too.
it's humbling.
I think that lefties in the dance world are usually better with flexibility than turns.
Yes. Why?
I know.
But like literally why?
I don't know. I think it's like a certain centrifugal force that righties have because the world works for them, and like that's just how they spin.
That's so true.
Think about
because
a clock.
every
Think about a clock. It goes to the right. I'm onto something, and so when you're turning, you're usually
which
doing
way
an
does
on-day or
the
turn.
earth?
You're doing
Which
it-
way does the earth rotate?
I know, right? I'm thinking about that too,
This
but
is
it's like
so off topic. You guys are just jealous. I'm a righty.
righties
No,
have an
sorry guys, the
advantage.
earth is
Me.
flat. Sorry guys, the earth is flat. It doesn't rotate.
Lefties are
This
flexible.
is not the podcast for that.
Lefties, I find whenever I meet a lefty, which is like once every 5 years, they're always really flexible. I don't
This
know.
is such an interesting podcast though because
We should take a
it's
poll.
always like it's very unique that we have two lefties
And
two
a
out of
righty.
three.
Yeah.
And but like righty is
righty.
the dominant
I'm
and like the more common. So I love how we just like have everything at Barre Chat.
So
A
anyways.
one-stop shop.
Back to a message to our younger selves. We got so off topic.
Well, it's still related to dance, but you know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, a message to our younger self. The world is flat. Righties have an advantage and centrifugal force. That's the takeaways from this episode.
I think those are great points.
Mm-hmm.
Points
Okay,
were made.
I'm
Yes.
so glad. Bianca, is there anything that you truly like wish you would have told yourself or?
I mean, so I did touch on the not worrying about what people think of me.
Mm-hmm.
But then I guess also on top of that, I would say that I'm okay where I am, and whatever I'm destined to do, I'll do. Meaning everybody has goals in the dance world, as you should. Everybody has their aspirations and their top 5 things that they wish they could do in their career. And for me, for a long time, that was being in a ballet company. Because once again, I was put in that box, not to say that I didn't want to do it for myself, but I think that was a driving force behind it for me. And there was a pressure of like, Bianca is the ballerina, and so she has to be in a ballet company. And that has not happened yet. I went to college right. Yeah.
Yet.
I went to
Keyword
college right out of high school, and that took up 4 whole years of my life, as you guys know. And you don't have time to do both. You don't have time to be in a ballet company and do college full time.
Yeah.
It's just not in the cards for most people. I don't know if anybody does that. Let me know if you do. But and then the pandemic happened. So I graduate, and then I have about a 4-month period and then COVID hits. And it's like, of course, nobody expects that. But then what am I going to do? Like, I can't join a company. Everything was shut down. And now I've been so immersed in all of my other things that I'm doing that I haven't had time to say, like, I have to do the company thing. If it's meant for me, and I believe that it could be, it'll happen when it's supposed to.
Right.
But for now, it's good for dancers, young dancers, older dancers. Be okay in the now. I think as dancers, but even just as humans, period, you guys, like, we're always like going for more, and we always just want to get there. But where we are right now, our younger self would be so happy.
Oh,
like our younger self would be like, this is exactly what I wanted to do. Like, we're all making a dance podcast
it's
right
like
now.
that TikTok trend where
Which one?
It's like that TikTok trend where it's like me, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like a picture of me when I was younger. And it's like how happy.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's
so
kind
this
of
actually,
similar.
yeah, no, this brings up a good question. Is there any goals you had when you were younger that you've already achieved?
Yes.
Me?
Like what? Anyone. Feel free to answer.
I mean, it's not necessarily related to dance, but when I was in middle school, I was really big on watching like YouTubers, because YouTube was the thing at the time for social media. And I was like, oh, that would be so fun to like be able to make videos and do that for like fun and for a job. And now I get to do that. And I never would have thought that that was possible. And like, that just goes to show that, and that happened by accident, by the way. Like, the whole TikTok thing, like, it wasn't like a set out, like, I'm going to strategically plan this and see how that works. It was an accident. And that's even more of a testament to say, like, whatever is meant to happen for you will happen for you. And it doesn't have to happen when you're 15 or when you're 18 or when you're 22, like any age. You have your whole life.
But it has to happen by 23.
You have your whole life ahead of you. And that's why you have to like stay in the now, appreciate what you do have, because your past self would be so grateful to be in that position.
Yes. No,
that's another.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
And we have so much time left to achieve the goals that we haven't achieved yet. And we're very hardworking. We love what we do. And I think that whatever is meant to happen will happen. And I think that we'll definitely achieve some more goals along the way, because we have a lot more life to live. But I guess for me,
and that's,
oh, sorry.
I was just going to quickly say, that's another really good point to make, is that as dancers, there is a always a clock above our heads.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
Because you get told,
your body's a time limit.
yeah, your body is going to run out. You're going to stop dancing by the time you're 25. So go. If you haven't made it at 17 years old, like, you're not going to, like, it's too late. And I think we were all kind of like taught that growing up, and that's just not true. And I've been taking from like a lot of teachers recently that have kind of said the same thing, like, you are not too old. Like, it is not too, most people that are working dancers that are background for dance artists or in companies are like in their 30s. That's 30s, crazy. 40s.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Like, you literally reach your like potential at that age because it comes with like
practice,
maturity and practice. Yeah. There's how many Rockettes are like in their 30s. Later years.
See, this is something that I would change growing up, or like, I mean, I guess this was kind of out of our control, but I would have loved to not have learned that. I did not want to learn that I am like my body's on a time limit, because that has always stressed me out. And like, I remember when I was graduating high school, since I wasn't majoring in dance, like, I had no idea what like the world had laid out for me dance wise. Like, I had no idea what was about to come. And like, of course I found a way to keep dancing, and I'm very grateful for that, but I didn't know what was going to happen after high school. Like, after you're 18, like, it's either nothing or professional. Like, that's kind of what I thought. So I would have wished that I did not learn that I'm a time limit, you know?
Yeah. And like, we all learned it, quote unquote, but that's a false narrative at the end of the day, because I don't know about you guys, but on my Instagram, I see a lot of older women that are still dancing professionally to this day. They are over 60. They're
the chorus
in classes.
line lady.
Have
you
Kim
seen her?
Hale. Do you know Kim Hale?
No.
I think that's her last name. She is amazing. If I can find a picture or reference, I'll send it. But she's one of them. And like, they're in playground classes. That's a studio in Los Angeles. They're doing the heels. They're in technique classes. And they're working. They book jobs consistently over the age of 60.
That's amazing. I want to be like that.
Yeah, exactly. And that's like inspiring, and also proof to say like, okay, so that whole thing about being done with dance by the time you're 25 is not accurate. It's not accurate.
It's not.
It takes forever to break into the industry too.
Yeah.
Like, there's only a small percentage of people that are going to book one of their biggest jobs at a young age.
Manifesting
that's
us.
There's actually like, that's like a song I like have really been enjoying listening to lately. It's called like Life of the Party by like Emmy, I think her name is. And like, the lyrics are literally like 21 without a Grammy or degree, like, and then it's like
stressful.
And how like you feel stressed because of social media, and you see everyone like getting things, like booking this job or like getting in this commercial, and you're like, oh my God, like, you start to feel the pressure, like, why isn't this happening to me? And it's like, just everyone is on their own path, and every like, I would get so upset every time I would submit an audition and would get like rejected, or like the worst is like getting so close to getting it and then not. But you just have to remind yourself that every single no is one no closer to that yes that you're supposed to get. Like, there is a plan for you.
Absolutely.
And I also believe that like, every no is meant to be a no.
You weren't best fit for that job.
If you're not wanted in the room, don't try to force it, and don't dwell on it for longer than 5 minutes maximum, because it's not worth your time or energy.
Because you're wanted in other rooms.
You are.
And you will find that room.
Yeah, the room will find you. And, you know, I think that dancers have so much pressure all the time to just be perfect and to achieve everything by the time they're in their mid-20s. And that's literally just not the path for everybody, not for most. And everybody, like Becca said, is on their own path. And dance has so many different avenues. It's not just company work. It is not just company work. You can dance in commercials for TV. You can dance in films. and shows. Like you can do tours. I mean, there are endless possibilities.
Yeah.
You can teach dance. There's so many possibilities and avenues, and I encourage all of the young dancers to start exploring those now.
Yeah.
While
Don't put
while
yourself on
you
a time
can.
limit. You have so much time.
But
Like-
that goes for any dancer. You don't have to be young to start exploring that. But
Not
the
even a
sooner the
dancer,
better.
just anybody. You have
Yeah.
so much time
just
to
anybody.
reach your goal.
Yeah. Something that I also have been thinking a lot about recently is like finding passions that are outside of dance, but that are also like artistic and expressive. So like something that I recently have gotten really into, and you guys know about it, is that I've really gotten into doing dance videography. And finding a creative platform where I can express my like artistry and my creativity in another way that isn't dance is just so rewarding, because it's also a great way for me to be like, dance, I am not dance. Like dance does not define me.
Right.
Dance is such a big part of all of our lives. We get so caught up in it, and we also kind of look it down on the people that in a way look down on the people that kind of explore other avenues besides dance, because we get so like caught up in like I'm a dancer, and it's like, but you're also a person.
Right. There's so
And-
much more to you.
Yeah, and being a dancer and being like an actual human in dance is one of the most important things as a dancer to be, because it makes you genuine
But it's
in your
not
movement.
the end all be all. Like there's so many other
Yeah.
avenues you can go down. And Becca, I'm the same way, because like when I co-hosted the radio show like a little while ago, that fully opened up a new door and kind of like ignited my passion for radio and just like hosting. And like the other week I hosted some event in Philly and I literally like emceed it. And I think like doing this podcast and then doing the radio and then hosting that event kind of just like made me realize I have potential in a different area that's not dance. And it was
Yeah.
very exciting for me, because I was
It's
like,
so healthy.
it's so healthy. And this is something that it's like, well, even if today's not a good turn day, I can still host a radio show, you know, like it's a whole separate category. So it's very comforting to like have something else that I'm passionate about now, because for my whole life it's been dance, and it still is, but it's also good to have other passions. But I did quickly want to go back and say before, so like we were talking about time limits and
Sorry.
stuff. No, it's okay. We were talking about like time limits and stuff and like goals that we set when we were younger, and like literally ever since the age of like maybe 9 or 10 years old, I would always say to my friends, I want to be famous. I'm going to be famous someday. Like, I'm not even joking.
That was me. That was also me.
Yeah, I mean, we're very similar, so I would expect nothing less. But like, you can ask my friends, like, I have been saying this forever. And I remember like when TikTok and everything started, my intentions were not to go viral. I didn't really realize like what can come out of that. But I remember when COVID hit and I was turning 20 in like a couple days. I was like, oh, like I'm about to be 20. I'm going to be so old and not famous. Like this is awful. Like I was so upset. And then
Oh my
I
God.
turned 20. Within a month, I had my first viral video that got over 7 million views. And then I got like 100,000 followers on TikTok. Like it was just very weird timing. But like since then, I was able to grow my platform, and I'm very, very grateful for the opportunities that I've been given because of TikTok that like I would not have been given. And like it's just crazy because like would I consider myself a celebrity? Absolutely not. But just the way that I would always joke about being famous, and something like this has happened, like this is more than I've ever asked for. And like I'm just so great. Like it's just so crazy. So my young self would be ecstatic to see what I'm doing, even just sitting here in my college room filming with 2 girls from LA. Like it's just so crazy. Like my younger self would be so proud of me right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, can I also note that
Nope.
I went over to grab something, because if you're watching on the podcast, I literally have a Netflix. I literally have a necklace that says famous on it, because I like as a joke. But also sometimes like a joke can come true. Like I'll like say as a joke I want to be
manifested it.
famous.
We
It's
literally
called
manifested it.
Literally manifestation. Like
We've been
Like always
manifesting
said.
since we were younger. So you know what? Thank you, young me.
yeah.
You manifested this for me.
I've been manifesting since I got to school how I'm going to drop out. And look at me now.
Look at her now.
Oh my gosh, Becca.
It's a little concerning.
That was a
look
joke.
At her now.
That was a joke.
So pretty much, if my younger self was listening to this, I think I wouldn't change anything about the growth and the journey that I took to get to where I am, because I'm so grateful to be here today and to be the dancer that I am today. And I think like everything literally did happen for a reason, and that's why I'm the dancer I am, and that's why I've ended up where I am doing this podcast with you guys and doing all these things. Like everything really does happen for a reason, so I wouldn't change a thing. But I'm very just content with my journey, and it's not even like over. There's a long way left to go with my dance journey and just career journey in general.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if I could tell my younger self anything in a nutshell, it would just be to be happy that you're experiencing life every day, and be happy that you're able to dance and express your emotions in that way, and just be grateful for all of your opportunities all the time. Don't put too much stress on yourself, and just have fun. Go with the flow.
Go with the flow.
Yeah. So I guess if I were to say something to my younger self, obviously, I know I had a little bit of a not normal dance life, but just be grateful for all of the little quirks that were in your dancing, and just be grateful for what made you different, even though it might have been a little bit harder. At times
It was all a part of the plot.
Yeah,
It's
a part. It's
Character development.
It's character development.
It's main character energy, and yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. You're an insane dancer. You're like so good. #1 fan.
You are mid.
No, you're actually so bad. Like when I watch videos of myself dancing, like, ooh.
No, stop. Like I know I'm always mean to you guys, but I do really respect your talent, and I think you're very talented. But I will never say that again.
Likewise. You already did in another episode, and you said you'd never say it again.
I did not. You can find it and send it
Oh,
to me.
actually, what you said was that I'm funny and a nice person, but you'd never say it again. And
Yeah.
You have proved that to be true.
You get one nice comment per like category from me.
Yeah.
And then that's it. But luckily it's documented
Actually,
in a podcast that can be streamed on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and YouTube. Quick plug.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I always like joke with my friends, like, please do not give me compliments.
I
My
can't
head
take
is big enough.
compliments.
No, like I
Oh.
literally, I'm
for
like,
different reasons.
no,
Got it. Okay.
no, I'm like, guys, like seriously, stop. I think that's my like method to like, what's it called? Like my
Your defense
method.
mechanism.
My defensive mechanism when people try to give me compliments. I'm like, guys, no, I already have a big ego, please. Like that's
funny.
always what I say.
No, that's funny because people like this happens a lot in like the musical theater choir that I'm in, and they'll be like, because I don't think I'm a good singer, but I'm also just very self-conscious. And
I think you're a good singer.
stop. See, I
When
I,
we
I
no, okay,
can't do this.
no, because okay, so when Lexi was staying with me in LA, we'd be in the car like singing his music, and mind you, during that trip I lost my voice because of how much musical theater we listened to in the car and how much we sang along to
such
it.
a theater
And
kid.
me too, like I'm a theater kid inside too, so I like we would sing along, but like I literally like am not a trained singer, so like I ruined my voice during that week because we were singing so much, and Lexi obviously sounded so good. I like would have to stop singing sometimes because it was like getting embarrassing.
I wish I was in the car.
No, stop, because people like they'll be like, "Oh, you're a good singer," and I'm like, "Bleh, bleh, bleh, don't say that." I literally cannot. Like I get so like, I can't do it. I love receiving compliments, but like maybe just say it behind my back or something, because I can't do it. Like I can't do it.
Good. I don't like giving compliments anyways.
Yeah, you don't. But anyways, I can't believe that we have done 10 episodes of a podcast, because this was literally like a hypothetical scenario that is so real now, and it's just so weird that we have a podcast and we're closing out our first season, but with a confirmed season
It's
2.
been amazing. Yeah.
Season 2 confirmed. Get ready for a rebrand, a re-glow up.
Maybe we'll add like some more colors instead of just pink. I think we need to.
Yeah.
Drop some suggestions if
Teal.
you'd like.
Are you guys sick of seeing pink? No.
Yes, teal.
No teal.
My favorite.
Anything but teal.
Then I'm out.
No thanks.
I'm out.
But yeah, I just want again to thank you guys so much for all the support you have given us on this podcast. As Lexi said, this was just a little idea that 3 girls that love dance wanted to do, and now look at us. Obviously we still have so much more growing to do, as we do in all other aspects of our lives, but we're so excited to bring you along the journey, and maybe one day you guys can say, I was with you guys from the beginning of episode 1 of Barre Chat.
You know what's cool? Like our future selves, because like in a little while we're gonna be our younger selves, like us right now, and our future selves are gonna look back and be like, oh, like they're so adorable. Like that's so cute.
Yeah, look
like,
how
I'm
cute
so
they are
proud
with
of
their
them.
ratchet backgrounds, with their ugly pink backgrounds.
They're like hospital cloth pink
Yeah.
backgrounds. But I feel like I'm just very content, and this is a great way to close out the season. And I'm very like, it's getting me because we haven't filmed since May. It's getting me very excited to start filming again for season 2
and to see you guys again all together.
I know, and Bianca's gonna cry again.
Never, no, not
And you
me.
guys need a billboard for me this time when you pick me up from the airport, not just a lousy little.
Yeah, you know
poster.
you left that poster at my house.
I know. I realize. I'm sad. Just use it again. I'll just leave it there.
No,
for
my
every time I come.
parents threw it out. My parents were like, Becca, because it sat at our front door, and they were like, apparently like, she's never gonna take it. She's never gonna take it. And then my
You
parents
still
were like,
have
we're
my
throwing
shirt.
it out.
You still have my shirt.
I do.
Yeah, my green one.
It's right in that cabinet right
Okay,
there.
cool. So I have to go back to LA now. So I guess we have to do a season 2. Whatever.
But thank you guys all so much for your support and for listening to our podcast Barre Chat from the very beginning, little baby steps. It's been a really awesome season, and we hope that you guys have learned a couple things and taken a few little tips and tricks with you along the way. And we're so grateful for all of you, and we cannot wait for season 2.
Peace out from Barre Chat, because that's where it's at.
Aww. Bye, guys.
Bye. We love you.
Love you.